Hello gamers, and welcome back to another episode of Solospelunking. It is Friday evening and I will do some actual play videos this weekend, most definitely. I'm eager to play, but before I do that, I want to show you something else, because I want to give a big shout out to the friendly people at The Homie and the Dude, and they're a father and son founded TTRPG company, basically a literal family business, and they reached out to me and provided me with a PDF bundle of all the digital goodies of their past two Kickstarters that they completed. And one Kickstarter is The Wandering Tavern, or was The Wandering Tavern, which I will be talking a little bit about in this video. The other Kickstarter is called Sky Zephyrs. It is also available, and it features airship and vehicle combat rules in a fantasy setting for 5th edition. And this digital bundle that I got, it contains a lot of material, and I'm still sifting through it, reading through it. But I want to give you a quick overview from what I have, what I've read so far, because already in there are a couple of things that I really like, and because the weekend is coming up, and maybe some of you want to do some gaming on the weekend, and maybe this setting is something you're interested in, and maybe you think about getting it, or maybe you had it on your radar, because I got very good news. I got my first coupon. So if you go to their website, which I link, or to their marketplace, which I will link in the description of this video and also in the as a pinned comment, and you use the code SOLO when checking out, so just capitalized like it is here, I will also link this code, you will get 10% off your purchase. All right, so you will find this information in the video description and the comments. So why do I want to showcase this, or what is it that I want to showcase right now? Because I think it is pretty neat. The first thing is, you see here, it includes 5th edition stats, the setting. So it says down here, 5e stats included. So now, maybe a couple of you are going, but I don't play 5th edition, I play something else. That's no problem, because actually what they did, and I think it is really neat how they did it, they provide, together with the 5th edition stats, they also provide a system agnostic stat block. And now you might say, well, system agnostic is nothing new. You're right, but I think the way how they implemented it is actually pretty neat, because they give a short introduction about their system agnostic definitions, and then what they did is they actually crafted a system agnostic stat block. So in the stat block section, you will find the 5th edition stat block, but also a nice looking system agnostic stat block, which uses easily transferable terms and ranges. And in the very beginning of the book, they explain to you how these system agnostic stat blocks are read, and what the different terms mean. And I think this is a pretty neat way, because it shows that they really thought about it, and they want to provide also a pleasant experience when you view the product. I mean, they could easily say, all right, so just convert 5th edition, but they went the extra effort and developed a system with terms and crafted a system agnostic stat block. And you will find this mechanic throughout the rules, that when they're 5th edition rules, they also provide a system agnostic rule box that also features these system agnostic rules. So I think that is pretty neat, and that is something that I haven't seen done in this manner before. So it shows that they actually are pretty, I think, sensitive about the non-fifth edition people, and really want to go the extra step to appeal to a wider audience. So this is something I found pretty nice. The other thing I want to show you is, well, let's do a quick overview. So what this is, the Wandering Tavern, it is actually a large floating tavern. But even though it is a tavern, actually it is like a micro setting. It is like a little city with different sections and different factions and people. And the good thing about this, or one of the ideas I immediately had when I skimmed through this and I read some things, is that, of course, you can plug this because it's like a floating tavern or flying tavern. You could plug this into your campaign if you play fantasy whenever you want or need. But what you could also do, and this is the idea I immediately had, I also like space opera and I like Star Wars. And what if the Wandering Tavern is not a medieval tavern, but instead a hyperspace capable shadow port that moves through space, and only very select few, like if you make some contacts in the smuggler hierarchy or complete a couple of high paying jobs, maybe you get the coordinates to this shadow port, the traveling shadow port, and this is where you can get special gear, special stuff, or where they're like the finest engineers that do the best modifications. Because how this document is laid out, so first it goes on and tells you about the origin story. So also a lot of flavor in here with handwritten entries. But let me flip through here real quick. It also explains the key locations and plot hooks. And if you read through this or skim through this, you will see that it's very easy to reskin this to fit a space opera setting. So for example, key locations and plot hooks, we have the lower levels. And the lower levels, they consist of engineering quarters, cotton quarters, which are low-class living quarters, a laundry room, helm and main engineering room, repairs and lower engineering room, and then, of course, from a unique NPC living quarters, an old boiler room, and the engine. So you see, because it features also like steampunk, no, not steampunk, but some futuristic fantasy elements, that you could basically plug this also into a sci-fi setting if you want, because you would find an engineering quarters and an engineering room also in a floating space station, you see. So this is very adaptable. If you're not into fantasy, it is still an interesting setting that you could use. So this was one of the ideas I immediately had when I was reading through this. So so it describes and every section has a digital map that is also included in the purchase, and there are tokens and all kinds of things. And the other thing I wanted to show you is, what I also found pretty neat, is that they also feature, like, there's like a gambling den in this floating tavern, and they even provide you with simple rules for games that you could actually play with each other at the table, like dice and guessing games. So where you do not roll, you do not use your character's skills, but your player skill, like you're playing against your fellow players and the GM, playing little mini games at the table if you choose to do so, like when you have downtime or you're in a gambling den. And I think this is pretty neat, because when I visited a friend a couple of days ago, my friend in Switzerland, that was one of the rare occasions where he GM'd for me. Usually I'm the forever GM, and he did a really great job, and I of course was playing a rogue, and actually I took part in a dice poker tournament that we played like for real, and that was really nice, and I got this Casino Royale feeling, and this is what I thought about when I was looking through these games. So they provide you with a couple of games that you could actually play on the table. So that was something that also caught my eye. And the other thing is they also have recipes in here, the Wandering Taverns recipes, and these are real life recipes. So you could actually cook them yourself. So if you want to get some of this Wandering Tavern flair into your kitchen, onto your living room table with a nice Wandering Tavern flavored meal, you could also do this. So this is also in here. So those are the things that immediately caught my attention, that they went the extra mile to do appealing stat blocks, and I will show this to you in a minute. And they include real games, they include recipes, and for me also a great aspect is the flexibility to convert this not into any fantasy setting, but also actually transferred into a sci-fi space opera kind setting. All right, so let me show you a couple of these stat blocks. And for example, here we have Catalina Almenara, and she's the head blacksmith of the facility, and then they go into her description, personality, and lore. And then you see, basically, in this case, back to back, here you can see the 5th edition stat block, and here you can see the system agnostic stat block that is easy to read once you have read through the examples in the beginning of the book. So this PDF is over 200 pages. So this is why I'm just giving you a quick overview now, because I haven't been through the whole document. But what I liked so far, what I've seen so far, I really like. And I want to basically point you in this direction, draw your attention to this supplement, because maybe you're interested, maybe you have it on your radar, maybe you need something for the weekend to play. So if you think about getting this, do not forget to use my coupon code SOLO when you check out, and you will find all the relevant links in the video description and in the comment. All right, so this concludes this first short overview. Like I said, there's a lot of material in there. There are tokens, there are maps, and yeah, I'm looking for ways to also implement these into my games. And who knows, maybe in my Star Wars adventure, we will come across a wandering shadow port, which is closely modeled after the Wandering Tavern. We will see. All right, so that's it for this short product overview video. And yeah, thanks again to the homie and the dude for reaching out to me. And as always, stay safe and stay healthy. Have a wonderful weekend and get some gaming in. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.